What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of LBFT, or Logan Battles Football Talk. This is episode 11 of LBFT Season 2. For this episode, we're going to be talking about two games that happened yesterday. But this episode will mostly focus on the Packers and the Patriots game that happened last night, as I already mentioned. For those of you who are living underneath a rock, the New England Patriots, led by Tom Brady, the five-time Super Bowl champion, have beaten the Green Bay Packers, led by Aaron Rodgers, to a 31-17 victory at Foxborough, Massachusetts, which the New England Patriots have improved to, I believe it was 6-2 or 7-2. No, 7-2. It's either one of those two. It might be 7-2, but anyway, who gives a damn? Anyway, and now the Green Bay Packers, their current record is 3-4-1. 3 wins, 4 losses, and 1 tie. I have so much to say. So, after watching and by the way, before I get to that, after I'm through talking about this Packers-Patriots game, I will be moving on to talk about the Rams and Saints game for just a small a small period of time. Unlike what I usually do when I talk about a few football games. So, let's talk about the Patriots and Packers game. After watching that whole game last night, I was heavily disappointed. I was so heavily disappointed. And the reason why I was so heavily disappointed is it's not because it's a Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady matchup. It's not because of the Green Bay Packers going up against the New England Patriots. It's not both of these. It's not just both of those things. It's because this was my most anticipated NFL game of this 2018 season. This was my most anticipated game to watch of this 2018 NFL season. I was so excited to watch that whole game. Just based not just like I just mentioned, not just because of the Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady matchup, or the Green Bay Packers and New England Patriots matchup. It's because of the fact that the Green Bay Packers were facing the New England Patriots at Foxborough. So as a result, that is one of the reasons why I was so excited to see that matchup. Because it really is, you have seen two goats, two NFL goats going up against each other. And then when the New England Patriots beaten the Green Bay Packers, I really couldn't tell you how disgusted I am with the Green Bay Packers. Let me just say this right off the bat, and I am not going to hold back from what I'm about to say. The Green Bay Packers are a disgrace. They are a disgrace last night. Well, I mean, words can't even describe how disgusted I am with the Green Bay Packers and the way they treated Aaron Rodgers in this game. I was so frustrated with the Green Bay Packers, the way they have performed. Not just offensively, but defensively as well. The Green Bay Packers defense last night, they were not the same Green Bay Packers defense as the Green Bay Packers defense from last week, who are going up against the Los Angeles Rams, led by Jared Goff and Todd Gurley. This is not that Green Bay Packers defense that I thought was going to be in this game. The defense did not show up to play real football like they should have. Well, let's not get the offense off the hook here. The offense was not good. Let's just be real right now. The offense was awful. They were not giving Aaron Rodgers enough weaponry. Is that even a word? Enough weapon systems with the wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, and whoever to get down on the field and score a touchdown. Few touchdowns. I was so disgusted with the Green Bay Packers and the way they performed, like I just mentioned. They just really got on my damn nerves. I just cannot believe what type of performance that I was seeing from them. Mike McCarthy really dropped the ball with his offensive play calling. His play calling was very suspect. It's not very good, y'all. Let's just be real. Mike McCarthy dropped the ball. And it's not just him. It's also the defensive coordinator and the offensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. They all dropped the ball. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers for a bit. I'm not going to talk so critical to Aaron Rodgers because I know this is not one of his best games in football. He hadn't been really great, but this is not the first time that we have seen him been this way. There have been plenty of games before that we've seen from Aaron Rodgers where he hasn't been that great, been as great as we are accustomed to seeing him be. It just happens. Let's just say it. This is not one of his best games in his career. Let's just be honest. I mean, he had a completion percentage of 55.8, QBR of 89.2. He passed for over 250 yards. Made 2 touchdown passes. And I really hate to say this because, again, this is not one of his best games. But honestly, he was relatively pedestrian in this game. He came off as relatively pedestrian. That's not the Aaron Rodgers that I see and really like and really am a fan of. The Aaron Rodgers that I know is not in this game. That's not Aaron Rodgers to me. The way he performed, I don't know what has happened to him, but that's not Aaron Rodgers in my eyes. Now, I will say this. It's not mainly on him for being a relatively pedestrian quarterback in this game. Or in other words, an average quarterback. It's also his offensive line. His offensive line didn't give him enough juice, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, to get down the damn field and score touchdowns. They were not giving him enough time on the field to get down the field and score touchdowns against the Patriots. And I was just sitting back thinking to myself, what the hell is wrong with the Green Bay Packers? I just don't understand how they could be so bad. They shouldn't be this bad when they have Aaron Rodgers. They were terrible without Aaron Rodgers. Do you remember the season opening game where Aaron Rodgers went down with that knee injury and he got wheeled off at Lambeau Field against the Chicago Bears in the second quarter? Or in the first quarter, I can't remember. But anyway, the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers wheeled off the field. The Green Bay Packers were down 20 points and had 0 points against the Bears. And during that time, while watching the game, I honestly thought the season was over. Already over. Without Aaron Rodgers, they're nothing. So, when I look at it from that perspective, the Green Bay Packers shouldn't be this bad with Aaron Rodgers. But after watching this game, last night, the Green Bay Packers have proven me otherwise. And I don't understand for the life of me why that is the case. But it is. I just don't know what the hell is happening with the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers on their roster. It makes 0 sense to me. They shouldn't be this bad when they have Aaron Rodgers. They are just so dysfunctional and just so bad. I can't even believe what I just watched last night from them. I can't believe it. And I will say this. My God. The Green Bay Packers were so awful. I was almost at a point where I almost went on Twitter to send a direct message to Aaron Rodgers and beg him to demand a trade from the Green Bay Packers at the end of this season. I was almost there. I was almost at that point where I wanted to do that. Sending him a direct message on Twitter to beg him to demand a trade by the end of this season. That's how awful the Green Bay Packers are. It baffles me that they continue. And let me also say this. It is really a damn shame that the Green Bay Packers have continued to ruin some of the greatest seasons Aaron Rodgers has ever had in his entire career in the NFL. It's really a shame. Whoever the general manager for the Green Bay Packers is needs to be gone. And whoever is the owner for the Green Bay Packers, he needs to go. And the head coach for the Green Bay Packers, Mike McCarthy, also needs to go. But more importantly than that, I hope by the end of this season, Aaron Rodgers demands a trade from the Green Bay Packers and just go to another team that is worthy for him to play for. Because as far as I'm concerned, the Green Bay Packers are not worth the team for Aaron Rodgers to play for. They have proven me time and time again. And I didn't got to that point up until now. They've proven me a few times till right now that they are not worth the team for Aaron Rodgers to play for. He was their only shot of winning more games. And not only that, he's also their only chance to reach the playoffs. And they have done that before. But now, this season, they've proven that they are not worthy or that they're not a good team anymore. Even with Aaron Rodgers. Because they are so dysfunctional. It's really disgusting to see that. Again, I hope Aaron Rodgers demands to be traded by the Green Bay Packers by the end of this football season. I really do hope that happens. I really do. It really needs to happen because the Green Bay Packers are not worth the team to play for Aaron Rodgers, as far as I'm concerned. At least not anymore. They've proven me that already after their performance last night. Just so unfreaking believable. I'm just at a loss for words. I am legitimately at a loss for words. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. Aaron Rodgers was not really great last night. He was relatively average. And that's not the Aaron Rodgers that I know and am a big fan of. This season has got to be one of the weakest seasons Aaron Rodgers has had in his entire, 13-year career? One of his weakest seasons in his entire career in the NFL. 13 years in the NFL. And it's really sad to say that. But it's a reality. I just couldn't believe it. The New England Patriots, they were a better team last night. Tom Brady did very well, to a certain extent. Josh Gordon was very good. And who else? There's another New England Patriots player that I thought was also very good. But I can't put my finger on who he is. Who else? This guy Patterson. I don't know his first name, but his last name is Patterson. He was also very good. Basically, Tom Brady and the New England Patriots play very well against a very dysfunctionally bad Green Bay Packers team with Aaron Rodgers. As a result, the most anticipated NFL game of the 2018 season of the NFL for me, or what it used to be, has been one of the most disappointing games I've seen all year, if not the most disappointing game I've seen in this entire NFL season. It was really disappointing in almost every single possible way that you could think of. And it's not just because Aaron Rodgers lost, and I really wanted Aaron Rodgers to win against Tom Brady. It's because the Green Bay Packers didn't even show up. They seemed like they just gave up, especially in the third quarter. And let me say this: the Green Bay Packers will do one of two. The Green Bay Packers should do one of two things. They have two choices to make. They either change things up on the offense and the defense, as well as the coaching staff, as well as the general manager and the owner for the Green Bay Packers, or I hope Aaron Rodgers demands a trade from the Green Bay Packers. One of those two things will happen. Either they put themselves together, or Aaron Rodgers will find a new team after demanding for a trade by the end of this season. One of those two things will happen. It can't be both. The Green Bay Packers are such disgrace last night. One of the most pathetic performances from a football team I have seen in a long time. It's such disgraceful, such embarrassing, such pathetic. I just couldn't believe it. Now, getting my rant out of the aside, I should say, let's move on from the Packers and Patriots game and move on to the Saints and Rams game. The one game besides the Patriots and Packers game that I was looking forward to watch, besides that game, I was really looking forward to the Saints and Rams game as well, because the formerly undefeated Los Angeles Rams were going up against Drew Brees and the one-loss New Orleans Saints in Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans. And I picked the New Orleans Saints to beat the Los Angeles Rams. And not only that, I also picked them to give the Los Angeles Rams their first loss of the season. I said this in my last episode, I believe. I said the Los Angeles Rams will lose to one of two teams, either the New Orleans Saints, or they will lose to the Kansas City Chiefs. One of those two teams I predicted that would beat the Los Angeles Rams. And the New Orleans Saints have turned out to be the team to give the Los Angeles Rams their first loss of the season, snapping the Rams' 8-game winning streak this season. And the final score of it, by the way, was 45-35. Yeah, such a high-scoring game, isn't it? Now, I must say this. I missed the first half of the Rams-Saints game. I missed the whole first half. I got the chance to watch it within the first half within the last 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes of the first half I've watched. But then, I watched the entire second half, which is enough for me. Now, in the first half, the New Orleans Saints were doing well, not just offensively, but defensively as well, to a certain extent. The New Orleans Saints, at halftime, were up 35-17 against the undefeated Rams, formerly undefeated Rams. And then, when the second half started, throughout the entire third quarter, the Los Angeles Rams have scored a touchdown and a field goal, whereas the New Orleans Saints didn't score a single point in the third quarter, which led the Los Angeles Rams to be up by, 27? I believe it was 27. Anyway. It was 27. So the New Orleans Saints in the third quarter were up 35-27. So the Rams were trying to make a comeback. And then the fourth quarter starts. And the Los Angeles Rams have scored a touchdown with the 2-point conversion, mind you. And that led up to that made it to a tie at 35. So, yeah, the Los Angeles Rams made a big comeback. They made I believe it was an 18-point deficit, coming back from this 18-point deficit in the second half of the game. Just overcoming a big deficit, a big point deficit. Just impressive. I mean, the Los Angeles Rams didn't do so well, especially the defense. The defense didn't show up in the first quarter against Drew Brees and his offense. I mean, they were just balling. The New Orleans Saints were balling. I mean, and Drew Brees, he's nothing short of sensational. He's nothing short of sensational. Remarkable. Spectacular. And so many words that you can describe Drew Brees. He's just that special. He's that awesome of a quarterback. So, let's get into a few guys, a few players, like Drew Brees, I just mentioned. Drew Brees, like I just mentioned, like I just said, he was spectacular in this game. Completed 25 out of his 36 passing attempts. Pass for 346 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. This man's on another level. I mean, come on. He's just that. He's nearly. It's hard to say. I mean, because he's just that great of a quarterback. And he's very underappreciated, I would tell y'all. He's very underappreciated by a lot of people by just how great he is. And how a future Hall of Famer he really is. He's just that great. And Alvin Kamara, is that how you say his first name? Anyway, he had 19 carries. He made 19 carries, rushed for 82 yards, a rush for an average of 4.3. Rush 4.3 yards an average. Made 2 rushing touchdowns. He was very good. And Michael Thomas, is his first name? He was spectacular in this game. He stood out in this game from start to finish. He was absolutely balling in this game. And I know I keep saying the word balling, but it's true. It's absolutely true. Michael Thomas was just... He put up an absolute show. 12 receptions, 211 receiving yards, received 17.6 yards of average, one receiving touchdown. This man is special. He's sensational. He's really great. Probably one of the top 5 receivers in the NFL, at least right now. And so yeah, the New Orleans Saints offense, they are that. There's just so many words you could describe the New Orleans Saints with Drew Brees. Yeah. Now let's talk about the Los Angeles Rams. Jared Goff, he was pretty good. He was pretty good, but not great, I would say. What is it? He completed 28 out of his 40 passing attempts. 391 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. That 1 interception he had by this one New Orleans Saints defensive player, and I think he's a rookie. I believe. I might be mistaken, but whatever. That was a pretty impressive interception that New Orleans Saints defensive player made. I was like, wow, that was a good interception. A really good one. Nice job, dude. But anyway, Jared Goff was pretty good, but he wasn't really great in this game. Todd Gurley is also pretty good, but not great, like Jared Goff. He carried the ball 13 times, 68 rushing yards, at an average 5.2 yards of average, I'm sorry, rush 5.2 yards in average, 1 touchdown in rushing. Brandon Cooks is pretty impressive as well. Let's not forget him now. 6 receptions, 114 receiving yards, 19.0 yards in average, 1 receiving touchdown. He was just that good. Cooper Kupp also can't be ignored. 5 receptions, 89 receiving yards, 17.8 yards in average, 1 touchdown receiving. So basically, the Los Angeles Rams came to New Orleans and played. They've been tested last night. They've been tested against the New Orleans Saints, and yeah, they might have failed the test, but not by a huge margin. They played impressively last night. They were impressive. They did came up short, but they were very impressive. This was a very good game last night. This is not a big defensive game in by any stretch of the imagination. It didn't even came close to be a defensive game like I thought it would. Well, kind of. I mean, I did pick the Rams, or Saints, I should say, to win this game by 4 points, 35-31. And what's funny is the New Orleans Saints at halftime have already been at the score that I predicted that they would win, 35. I picked them to win at 35, and the game was at halftime with 35 points that they scored, which is kind of hilarious. I didn't think that they would score that many in the first half, but they did. So, you know, what can I say? And then they passed my prediction of how much they will score against the Rams. And the Rams also have passed my prediction for how many points that I predicted them to score. I predicted them to score 31 points against New Orleans, and they ended up passing that by scoring 35 points, which is the same score that I predicted New Orleans to beat the Rams by. So anyway, I gotta quit talking about the score just to not waste any more time. Basically, both teams came to play. They both challenged each other, and they both played very well against each other. Throughout 3 quarters of this game, they played very well. And by the fourth quarter, I believe, the last 3 games of the fourth quarter, or I should say, the last 3 minutes of the game, by the end, the Rams didn't make it on the 4th down conversion. They were going for it on 4th down, and then they didn't make it. The Saints defense ended up stopping them within the last 3 minutes of the game, and the Rams basically won this game by a small defect, or a default, I should say. But yeah, it was a really great game. I enjoyed the hell out of that game. I mean, Drew Brees was marvelous. I mean, words can't even describe how amazing he is as a quarterback. One of the best quarterbacks in the entire league, by far. And it's really sad that this was a much better game to watch than the Packers and Patriots game. It's really sad to say that. I really hate saying that because I was so excited for the Patriots and Packers game, and it really was a big letdown for me. It was a big letdown for me. But the Rams and the Saints game, y'all, it did not disappoint me like the Packers and Patriots game did. That I can tell you. I can tell you for certain, with certainty, that it didn't disappoint me one bit. So yeah, it is what it is. The Saints showed up, and they won the game by 10 points, 45-35, the final score of the game. So congrats to the New Orleans Saints, Drew Brees, and Michael Thomas, and Alvin Kamara, and the rest of the crew. Congrats to them. They handed the Los Angeles Rams their first loss of the season. Congratulations on them, on their accomplishment on that. Or for accomplishing on that. It's just that impressive. I mean, I'm not surprised that the Saints won and have beaten the Saints and given them their first loss of the season, but still, it was a great game to watch by the second half of the game, I should say. I mean, the second half, both teams came to play, but then the Saints ended up winning. So, yeah. I had a good time watching that game. It was a lot of fun. So anyway, guys, those are my thoughts on both games, the Packers-Patriots game and the Rams-Saints game. The New England Patriots beating the Green Bay Packers disappointingly by 31-17. And the New Orleans Saints defeating the formerly unbeaten Los Angeles Rams 45-35. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on both of those games. So, if you guys enjoyed this episode, please click the like button and comment down below to let me know what you think of those games if you have watched them. Do you think that the Saints given the Rams their first loss of the season, was that a great game you watched? Or was the Packers and Patriots game a great game to watch, in your opinion? Let me know which game do you thought was the best one in this week. Week 10, I believe. Or no, wait a minute. Week 8? Is this week 8 or week 9? I think it's week 9. Anyway, which game do you think is the best? The Patriots-Packers game or the Rams and Saints game? Let me know in the comments section below. Anyway, if you enjoy what you've seen here and you want to see future videos from me, please click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you never miss a video. And I will see you guys in the next episode of LBFT Season 2. And I will also see you in different videos, like movie reviews, trailer reactions, and you get it. Have a great week, Battle Squad, and as always, fight the good fight.